Of all the rides in all the Disney parks, what would you make into a movie?
I assumed a Pirates of the Caribbean movie would be bad.
Where would you have gone with pirates?
Oh, obvious where you go with pirates.
Okay, go on.
Brought to you by T-Mobile. Now Netflix is included. Another reason why T-Mobile is America's best unlimited network.
Hey, welcome to the show. Are you excited? Max is excited. We're going to talk about Disneyland movies and scripts based on Disneyland rides.
Yeah.
Just like the Space Mountain script that you yourself wrote, right? You wrote that.
Yeah, and I'm going to talk about it right now.
Okay.
My Space Mountain movie was cool. It was a 50s retro future movie. They had rocket ships and ray guns, but no cell phones or internet. And
The rocket ships didn't run on like a roller coaster track?
They did. They did?
It
was an element. There was a roller coaster
wanted.
element in the movie.
That's so good.
I'm so stupid.
No, that's what I would have wanted.
The Space Mountains took you through tracks, and it was the only way you could move faster than light.
That's great.
But like one of the
It's like
things,
rickety, you've just got a waist belt, and you're like, I'm gonna fall out.
No, that
My
was
backpack.
I wanted to do that. No, the thing on Space Mountain, you're how tall are you? I haven't
pretty
seen
short.
you standing.
I'm pretty short.
I assume there's a puppeteer behind you.
Yeah, there is.
It's a whole team.
It's Frank Oz.
Oh my God, Frank?
Yeah.
Uncle Frank?
Yeah.
You worked at Disney, so you maybe have done this, but when I was writing Space Mountain, one of the
They
really...
did it with lights on?
They let me ride it with lights on
Yeah.
at 4 a.m. And you have no idea how high up you are.
Yeah.
At the beginning of that ride, I always thought Space Mountain was like small, but you're like 200 feet in the air.
Yeah, I
You're
was
like,
surprised by the horizontal space. It's like a rectangular warehouse. I was like,
yeah.
Where's it going? Where's the cylinder?
It's so, your whole idea of the space you're in is completely wrong and controlled by the ride.
Yeah.
Which is like...
They have like fans and they have like... I like the meteor that you can only see with the lights on.
Oh my God, that
That's
meteor is
cool.
so lame, but it's so great to know it's there.
Yeah, no, I wish they lit it up with like a purple light and they're like, it's a meteor.
Well, the fact that they haven't improved Space Mountain in really any other way other than changing the music to worse music. Do you remember the surf music on Space Mountain?
I think so.
The dictate, like, bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
That's what inspired my movie.
Okay.
I wanted to do a movie where like people said gee whiz, but the stakes were like still huge.
Okay, that would be good.
And the robots, they have like robots, but none of them work. And so
Yeah,
it's
like they have the big tube arms.
yeah,
and
it's
like big cylinder
hand
robots.
me coffee, and it goes
Yeah.
handing coffee, coffee like that. It had a cool thing in it, which is the idea that when you come back from light speed, you're 9.5 grams lighter, but you seem normal. And then slowly over the course of like a day, it turns out that the human soul can't travel at light speed. So whole ships come back with people with no souls who are still acting like themselves, but then they turn into these horrible monsters. No wonder this movie didn't get made, but there was this really cool mishmash
Yeah, it
of
sounds
imagery.
a little high concept.
It's one of the more
Wait
straightforward.
a second.
What?
Pirates of the Caribbean was about a skeleton ship, and you just did exactly that with Space Mountain.
It wasn't. The way I executed it was
And then you could do
different.
the Big Thunder Mountain with the zombie cowboys that roll into town. That would actually make
That would be
sense.
incredible.
Because that's actually the story of actual Big Thunder Mountain, is that it's a ghost train that rolls through a ghost town.
I've always wondered this. Like, if Big Thunder Mountain is a ghost town, why isn't there more like spooky?
They
It
wrote
feels
like
pretty...
a ballad that was about the ghost story that they were going to play in the queue. But I
Yes.
think it was too scary for kids. So
I
they
have
cut
heard
it.
this.
Yeah, it's on YouTube.
Also, the fact that Pirates went in the direction it did is so mystifying. Because when I saw Pirates, I assumed a Pirates of the Caribbean movie would be bad. And then by the time we got to like, they're jangling the keys for the dog, I was like, this movie is very good.
I know, the movie's great.
And so I went into Dead Man's Chest going, this movie will also be very good.
No.
And it just slowly was so bad. Why not just do stories that peripherally use that universe? Like, why wasn't Pirates an expanded universe from the get-go? Why was everyone dying? What happened to Norrington?
Stand down.
What
I know, he was cool. He just
He
died
was so
on a
cool,
ship.
he just dies
Yeah.
for no reason.
Where would you have gone with pirates?
Oh, obvious where you go with Pirates.
Okay, go on.
Second movie, totally new cast, totally new story
Yeah.
about pirates. Midway through the movie, Jack Sparrow shows
Yeah,
up.
and
Why is the rum gone?
And then third movie, new set of characters. Near the end of the first act, Will Turner shows up.
How did you get here?
Sea turtles, mate.
that would be great.
And you're like, what?
Yeah.
And then the characters from the second movie show up with Jack Sparrow because they're still on that adventure and build it that way.
Yeah.
Because it's not called Jack Sparrow of the Caribbean.
Okay, oh my gosh. What I want is a Tiki Room movie more than anything, because I love the Tiki Room. It's my
that'd be
favorite
incredible.
attraction.
What would be the politics of the Tiki Room movie?
I love it because you've got like those Tiki gods that are like out in they call it the lanai outside.
Yeah.
I love that the birds are like, these gods hate the birds,
The
and
gods
they
hate
hate
the
these
birds.
party birds, and they're literally just like stupid congenial party birds, and they're like, oh, the gods are angry again. And it's like, they don't care.
Did
They
you
just keep
see?
on
Did you
going.
see the version of the ride when like the other
the
birds were
Iago
in there?
one?
Iago
So
and
bad,
like the
yeah.
other birds. It was so annoying.
Did you hear why they ended that?
No.
There was a mysterious fire in the ceiling,
Right.
and all the birds were fine, except Iago and Zazu. Huh. I wonder if an employee set that
You
fire.
think there was a deliberate act of sabotage?
Okay, so that's a good transition. Of all the rides in all the Disney parks, what would you make into a movie?
Absolutely Matterhorn.
Really?
Absolutely Matterhorn.
You know they already had a movie about Matterhorn, right?
Yeah, but it was in the 70s, right?
Yeah.
I think I'd love to do a Matterhorn movie because I would love to do a movie about a mountain climbing expedition that gets stranded in a mountain and finds like the lost city of the Yetis and like do like
Wait, they have a city?
the Yetis. Well, originally they were
Okay.
the servants, but something went wrong a long time ago and now they've taken it over. So you have wonderful. Have you ever read Rendezvous with Rama? One of the coolest moments in a book where there's this giant space thing coming towards Earth and we go out to meet it and we go inside of it and inside of it is a city that's empty.
Okay, that's creepy.
It's so creepy and great, but I would love to do Rendezvous with Rama in the Swiss Alps.
And you've got to have them going around on toboggan.
Yeah, of course. No, of course there's a whole toboggan
Do you
thing.
integrate the Skyway? It's not part of the Matterhorn anymore.
The Skyway was such a bizarre thing because it was like an invitation to throw things at people below.
I know, and jump on grad night.
How many people died on the Skyway?
I think one maintenance worker was accidentally swept off a platform when it was turned on. Most of the people died on the People Mover.
Because
it moved slowly.
Well, they didn't understand how dangerous it
Yeah.
was. Okay, so
They didn't understand it moved in a train and they would just crush under the rubber.
get crushed
rubber-
under it
Yeah.
when it would go through the tunnels and smoke joints. And there would be Disney employees whose eyes were used to the darkness, and people would light up joints. And Disney employees in the 60s and 70s would flick them out of their mouths.
Oh my God.
Because they couldn't even see the guy coming.
Yeah.
They'd be like, I can smoke my joint. Flick. Or the two people would be making out, and someone would go tap tap like that.
Yeah.
And it would go, oh no!
They don't do that anymore.
One of my favorite memories of Disneyland is walking along, and I was like 15. I was with this girl I was dating, and you know when you're like 15 and you get to be alone with someone for the first time, you're like alone with the person you're dating, and you're like, we're like mini adults, and no one's telling us where to be.
I've
or
been
when to-"
lonely forever, but I totally empathize with what you're describing.
So we were walking, and she goes, "Is that John Travolta?" And I look, and John Travolta's on the balcony of Club 33 with a cigar,
Okay.
standing, looking out at Disneyland.
Like a plantation
like it's
owner
a nightclub
surveying.
he owns. And he's standing, he's like this, like. And we didn't know what Club 33 was.
So you thought he was just
John Travolta
creepily-
lives above Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
And we were like, that is John Travolta. And it was really funny because more and more people saw me and her just staring at him.
He was an attraction.
He was an attraction of
Yeah.
people looking at John Travolta.
And John Travolta ride.
He never
Looks
looked
just
at
like him.
He never looked at the people.
What was he
He
looking
was
at?
looking at Tom Sawyer's Island, but he never looked at the people. He smoked
With like a
cigar.
pensive like captain on a ship express.
Yes!
That's amazing.
It was bizarre. It's one of my most bizarre memories. And then eventually we got tired of looking at John Travolta looking at Tom Sawyer's Island and when it
He
got
just
on Flash
left.
Forward, and we left.
He was not bored. He was still going.
Do you think it was like great memories with Mr. Lincoln? Like it was
Yeah.
a John Travolta animatronic? If you could, any of the Epcot rides,
Ooh.
if you could do any of the Epcot rides as a movie, what movie would you be most interested to see?
I would go deep cut. I would go Horizons, which is not there anymore. But it was like a Pirates of the Caribbean style
know
ride.
Horizons.
Did you go on Horizons?
Of course.
I think it closed before I was born.
All of the cool stuff
82 Epcot. I want to go there.
that
So
you
good. Mm-hmm.
hear about in Disneyland, especially in Disney World, I did. I
Okay.
got to do. And it's weird
Because
because
Horizons is the best.
yeah, it's been closed forever.
Yeah, I think it closed in like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Which was the one where you got to choose your ending?
That
Like,
was Horizons.
Which
where you-
future?
and it's like screens, but you can go to the underwater city
Yes.
or the farm
Okay,
or
so
the future like,
I
city
remember
in the sky.
it vividly because I had never encountered anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was on the ride just experiencing the future, and then the thing came up was like, choose what you want the ride to do. Like I was like, Epcot's better than Disneyland.
Mm-hmm. Which one
I don't
did you
give a
pick?
fuck. Underwaterland.
Of course.
But I think I did all of them.
All right. This was a great conversation about Disney theme park.
That's the transition. Yes, and
You're
I'll be
ruining
going
it.
now.
Okay,
Jenny.
bye, Max. Bye. What? No, that was good. good. That was gold.
And now...
Now it's time to hear from the comments section. You stay there. Who's our first commenter? Ooh, it's Eric Wegner. Wegner? And he said, you broke character there with a smile, Jenny. There is no character, Eric. When I smiled in that episode, that was the first time I ever felt joy. So what you see is what you get. I don't know, everyone keeps saying it's a character. Yeah.
Your character is so good. But then a couple of times when you spoke in your real voice with the British accent, I was like so startled.
Next comment is from Crash and CERN, who said, Max seems nice, but he really didn't add anything to the show. It's about you.
Yeah, it's because I wasn't on it.
That's lucky.
I just seemed nice, but I didn't add anything because I wasn't on it.
I disagree. I think that's an unfair representation. Max doesn't seem nice. And last comment is from Donnie Baker. Donnie Baker said, this is wasting my time. Okay, those were some good comments. I hope you loved that episode because that was the finale of season 1. So you're gonna be in a dry spell for a while. I'm gonna go away to live in exile in a cave on Ahto. And if you need me, I'll leave a map. So leave some nice comments below and maybe someday I'll return. So bye. Goodbye. Bye. Goodbye.